Temple Man, and it is a fabulous teaching, and it talks about how the whole temple structure is after the body of the bosom of Yahweh. Because we see right within the text that it is from the bosom of the earth, Temple Man. The temple is structured after the bosom of Yahweh. I suggest you get that teaching. It is a great teaching, all about the outer court, the inner court, and how it is a picture of the brought forth Son from the bosom of Abba Yahweh. That's what it's all about, because he was the one that walked forth and brought to fruition everything that we were supposed to be doing correctly, but we erred. Temple Man. Temple Man, the bosom of the earth, even to the lower edge, shall be 2 cubits, and the width 1 cubit, and from the lesser edge even to the greater edge shall be 4 cubits, and the width 1 cubit. So the altar, Ariel in the Hebrew, lion. The altar, Ariel in the Hebrew, lion. The lion of Yahudah. To do with altars? Yes. To do with altars. Shall be 4 cubits, and from the altar upwards shall be 4 horns. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, 12 wide, square in the 4 squares of it. The 12 tribes of Israel from the 4 corners of the earth to come before the altar of Yahweh in the future. But will they do it? That is the call that is to go out to the nations. Verse 17, and the edge shall be 14 cubits long and 14 wide in the 4 squares of it, and the border about it shall be half a cubit, and the bottom of it shall be a cubit around, and its stairs shall face east. Whoops. It's what shall face east? Stairs. Let's turn back to Shemot chapter 20 verse 23. Exodus chapter 20 verse 23. I think I gave you the wrong scripture reference there. But in the Torah, does it tell us to make stairs or a ram? It's a ram, so that nothing will be revealed. No flesh will be revealed. The Torah teaches us that it is a ram. So here we see, and its ram shall face east. Verse 18, and he said to me, Ben Adam, this is the Master Yahweh. These are the mishpatim of the altar in the day when they shall make it, to offer burnt offerings on it, and to sprinkle dam, blood upon it. And you shall give to the Kohanim, the Levites that are of the Zerah seed of Zadok, who approach me to serve me, says the Master Yahweh, a young bull for a sin offering. Something very important to know, because this comes up so many times. Brethren, I will teach the Torah and talk about how that we are Kohanim. We are priests under the order of Melchizedek, Gilead, chapter 1. And many brethren that are against the Torah say, well, we are priests too. And I go on to say, you're taking it out of context. Where do you see that priests that are against Torah survive very long in a priesthood? They don't. Priests stand for the Torah. Right here is another proof text, because we see that the argument that we're all kings and priests, which many will rip out from Gilead chapter 1 verse 6, does not match the scriptural record. Because here we see only the Zadokite Kohanim as the only legitimate priestly line. All of the other Levitical priests have been demoted to gatekeepers and servants. They have been demoted to gatekeepers and servants. But it's the Zadokite line that was faithful, because Zadok was faithful to David and Shlomo. When there were revolts and those that came against Melech David and Melech Shlomo, David and Solomon, it was Zadok that was faithful. The Ithamite line of Aaron is completely bypassed. The Ithamite line of Aaron is completely bypassed. So faithfulness to king, Torah, and Beit HaMikdash, temple and its altar, is what makes you a legitimate Kohanim. Do you see that? But again, ripping text out of context can get you in all kinds of trouble. But here we see that the Kohanim, the priests, there are least and greatest. The greatest of the priests being the line of Zadok, the least being the Ithamite line. Greatest and least. Did Moshiach talk about that to us? Exactly. Because greatest and least in the kingdom has got something to do with Torah, temple, and altars, and where you stand in regards to them. Most important. A young bull for a sin offering. Are you telling me, Yehezkel, that in the future, in the millennial temple, that there is going to be a bull sacrificed on the altar? Yes. And you shall take the dam of it and put it on the four horns of it, and the four corners of the edge, and upon the border all around. In this manner you shall cleanse and purge it. You shall take the bull also of the sin offering, and he shall burn it on the appointed place of the Bait house outside the Kadosh place, set apart place. And on the second day you shall offer a male goat without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with the bull. When you have made an end of cleansing it, you shall offer a young bull without blemish and a ram out of the flock without blemish. And you shall offer them before Yahweh, and the Kohanim, the priest, shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them up for a burnt offering to Yahweh. An olam offering to Yahweh, and the King Jimmy translated this as a holocaust. As a holocaust. Verse 25. 7 days shall you prepare every day a goat for a sin offering. They shall also prepare a young bull and a ram out of the flock without blemish. Verse 26. 7 days. How many days? 7 days, and on the 8th day it becomes hot. How long is Hanukkah? 8 days, because you've got that hot day when the altar is ready for sacrifice. 7 days shall they purge the altar and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. This instruction comes from the Torah, Shemot, Exodus chapter 29, verse 37, and Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 8, verse 33, are instruction on altars. Dedication. Hanukkah, of course, the feast of dedication. Verse 27, and when these days are over, it shall be that upon the 8th day and thereafter, the Kohanim priest shall make your burnt offerings upon the altar, and your shalom offerings, peace. Sar Shalom, Prince of Peace. And we are now living in the realm, under the authority, within the priesthood of Sar Shalom. Do you think that do we offer sacrifices today? We do. Sacrifices of our lips. Praises. Do you think that it would have anything to do with shalom offerings? Yes. Because we serve Sar Shalom, the Prince of Peace. So we'll get more instruction back on that later. And your shalom offerings I will accept you, says the Master Yahweh. The altar in the book of Yehezkel is the Hebrew word mizbeah, and it is altar. But it is also shulchan, table. Because the altar is Yahweh's table. What would you put upon Yahweh's table? Consider that. Because you know when they led a pig into the temple, that wasn't a good thing. That caused a desecration, which is what Hanukkah is all about. So be careful what goes upon the table, because nothing new can go upon the table. because there is nothing new. It's just renewed. Now, traditionally, from the 17th of Tammuz to the 9th of Av is the time of mourning for the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Traditionally, that is a time when much study is done on the construction